So I don't know if I'm going to put this on IG or YouTube or if it even matters, but my friend and I were talking last night about going to practitioners such as chiropractors or whatnot and knowing more about your body than they do because it's your body and you live in it 24/7. Um, and them not listening to you and then finding that despite tons of money and time and investment in following their practices, you just end up doing what your gut tells you your body needs. So, for example, last year I had been suffering from this hamstring issue for over a year, and it meant that I couldn't walk uphill without extreme pain. I couldn't run. I couldn't stretch my hamstrings, and like my hamstrings are one of the most flexible parts of my body. So it meant I couldn't dance. I couldn't be active in any way. And it was debilitating and depressing, and because I've been a mover all my life, and so I went to PT and they gave me these exercises, but it wasn't helping. And also I wasn't getting stronger as a person. I was spending the little bit of time I had doing exercises, and I was like, this is BS and this doesn't work for me. And I realized that I learned about nerve flossing um, from one of the PTs. So one of the exercises he did was great, but it was laying on my back doing nerve flossing for my hamstring. It didn't really help. When I thought about it, and I thought about Ashtanga yoga, which I used to do religiously, when you do a forward fold in Ashtanga yoga, you bring your head in, right? So I can't demonstrate because I don't have a beloved that can video for me, but um, so what I was doing, so what I'm doing in Ashtanga, besides getting my whole body uniformly flexible and also building strength, is that I'm doing nerve flossing along my whole back chain. So the fact that the PT had me focusing on just my hamstring and just that nerve flossing didn't address the entire issue. The entire issue was my entire back chain. And after, I think it was 6 to 7 weeks of 6 days of Ashtanga a week, my hamstring issue was gone, completely gone, and it hasn't come back even though I'm not doing Ashtanga every day. And so I want to tell people to listen to their body and listen to their intuition, and especially if you've been a mover, you know what's right for you, and you need to have that flexibility. Like, yeah, use the exercise they give you and listen to them because they have done a lot of training, but at some point you just have to listen to yourself. And so, I saw a chiropractor the other day, and I was desperate, so I went to someone that I didn't have a reference for or anything. And I have multiple issues going on, but the reason I was going in is because of my lower back is out. And my lower back is out because of my ankle. So I sprained my ankle really bad almost exactly a year ago, and I tore my right ATFL. And which means my ankle doesn't stay in socket, and so my landing is poor and my connection to the ground is poor, which works its way up the chain of my skeleton. And so actually recently I've had this issue with, I'm going to call it dumbbell syndrome. So I've been obsessed with bodybuilding, and I've been lifting dumbbells that were probably too heavy with poor form. But it started with an issue in my upper back where I was stiff and having problems, and then my shoulders were uneven in shoulder presses. So I knew there was an imbalance, but I didn't find a way to address it. So then when I started lifting heavier, I got tennis elbow. And now my left forearm is like, sometimes I can't even pick up a glass of water without hurting. Dumbbell syndrome. Because I kept lifting. And I was like, well, I'll just modify, which is good too. So then, and I will get back to my story. So then I didn't listen to myself when we were doing Kung Fu, because Kung Fu is or basically Kung Fu, and it's a recent endeavor of mine, and it's intense. And we were doing rolls. Well, I did a shoulder roll, but not the way you're supposed to do it. Instead of landing on my back, I landed on my shoulder, and I separated my AC joint. And it hurt like a mofo. So I'm upset because for the past 2 weeks, I haven't been able to do any shoulder exercises. I haven't been able to do chest presses. So my chest and my shoulders are getting weaker, which sucks. So that, I went to the chiropractor the other day, and he'd take me all up, and I don't know that it's helping. I think he feels better about it, but like I asked him to adjust my AC joint and to get it back in joint. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. I could tell. Like he didn't know what direction to move it, and that scared me. And I was like, just don't make me worse, all right? Because you could make me worse. And I got no relief. And I'm going to go see another chiropractor on Monday, but I think I'm up against, yet again, something where their advice just, I'll take some of it and I'll take what works, but I got to listen to me and my body and what my body's telling me and to my intuition. And so I'm excited to listen to myself more, excited to tell people that listen to yourself more. I mean, my friend's story is beautiful. It's very similar to my Ashtanga yoga story. And I'm not saying don't heed their advice, but I'm saying if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And at some point you have to acknowledge that you know yourself better than anyone. And if a practitioner doesn't listen to you and doesn't understand and agree that you know your body better than anyone, and if they shoot down what you're saying as your reality, leave. Don't accept someone denying your reality. Now they may say, they may point out something to you that's uncomfortable, that's a truth of your reality that you didn't want to look at. But for them to say that's psychosomatic, or like kind of to blow off anything that you say, like, don't use those practitioners. And I will say too, I've had physical therapists tell me like, don't do pigeon, it's bad for your SI. And I'm like, my SI hurts if I don't do pigeon. And, that kind of flexibility is unnatural. That's like a whole nother post. Cause like, you mean my flexibility and the flexibility that I desire is not pedestrian. It's exceptional. It's not unnatural, or you wouldn't have these amazing circus artists and dancers and gymnasts doing these wonderful things and doing it into longevity. So yeah, love your body, trust your body, listen, but with a grain of salt. Peace.